In this episode, I'm acknowledging a few of the challenges of working from home and having humans around, especially as an introvert. I'm also sharing a few of the ways that I'm trying to cultivate a little bit more joy in my life outside of work. So if you identify as a bit of a workaholic, this episode is for you. Do you ever feel like you're drowning in a sea of marketing musts and shitty business shoulds? Yeah? Well, you're in the right place. Your Biz, Your Rules is here to help you kick that crap out of the road so you can build your biz your way. So today I'm going to go a little bit more personal than I usually go, just because recently something's been happening that has definitely impacted the way I've been running my business, and I think it's highly unlikely that I'm the only one that's ever experienced this. So my fiance has been off work for over a month now, and that means he has been home for over a month now and largely in the same room as me for a month now. And that is really difficult. It's really difficult, especially when you're running a business from home, and especially when you're an introvert running a business from home, because you need that solo time. You need that time alone or by yourself to recharge your batteries. And I haven't had that, and it's been really difficult. And that's not to say I don't love him and I don't like having him around, because obviously I do, otherwise I wouldn't be marrying him. But it's a real challenge, and it's a real challenge trying to figure out a new routine that factors in another person. It's a real challenge knowing that you can't necessarily do all of the things that you're used to doing, or in the way that you used to do them, because you have to take somebody else into consideration. And it's not easy. It's not easy. And I know even if you haven't experienced somebody being off work long term in your home while you're working, there are still elements of this that come into play no matter what your circumstances are. Now, I know that I have, probably since day one of working from home, I've had to field endless phone calls from people in the middle of the day. It's like a lot of people think that just because you happen to be at home, it means that you're free and open for a chat. But would those people phone you if you worked in an office? I doubt it. It's a really difficult one to navigate, because these are people you love and people you care about. But as with your clients, you've got to have those boundaries. And that, I think that's one of the things that I've been struggling with over the past few weeks, is that it's hard to enforce boundaries with clients, let alone the people you love. Like, telling the people that you love that they have to shut up and get out is not easy and can have some unappealing consequences, but sometimes it has to be done, because this isn't a hobby that you've got. This is a business that you're building, and that needs to be respected by everybody. And it can lead to some seriously uncomfortable conversations, but those conversations need to happen, because if they don't, then what? You're just going to compromise your goals and set yourself back so that somebody else can be in the room and making a noise, or inviting people round, or I don't know, whatever it is they're doing that's disrupting you. You've got to guard that work time like a tiger. Guard it like a tiger. And I have to say, even though I'm here talking about this to you, I have not mastered this. I have not designed the ultimate balancing humans and work system. I don't know what's winning. I think it's one of those things of feeling it out as you go along. But if you have developed a winning way to juggle the people and the stuff, then by all means reach out and tell me what it is, because I want to know. I would love to be prepared next time so that I know how to navigate a human and all of the things I want to do. Now, I'm quite probably inappropriately pleased to say that he's back at work today. Today is his first day back, so hopefully a little bit of normality will return, but we will see. So that's one of the big things that's been running through my work recently, and I haven't really wanted to talk about it publicly because I don't want it to be like I'm having a public bitch fit about my boyfriend, because that's not the case at all. I think it's a real life struggle, and I think it's something that you can relate to if you work from home, because no matter who it is that's around you, unless they also work from home, they're just not going to get it, and they're not going to get how amped up you get about everything, how stressed you get about everything, and how much of a priority certain things are, because they're not in it with you. Even if they're the most supportive person on earth, they're not actually in it with you. And I think that's just something that we've got to work through. And like I said, if you've got any tips, hit me up. I'll pop a link in the show notes to come find me on Instagram, DM me, and let me know how you make it work. So, that's thing 1. Thing 2, it might be related, it might not be related, I'm not sure. So I was journaling the other morning, just because it's part of my morning routine. I always spend a few minutes just dumping my thoughts into a journal. And I was just thinking, I can't be asked to do anything. I don't mean work-wise. Work-wise, I'm always like doing the things and ticking the boxes and powering through. But when it comes to closing down for the day, I just feel like I'm done. And I'm just then in zombie mode, sleepwalking through the rest of my time. And it's weird because I used to have loads of hobbies. Like I used to be really into making art and gardening and going and doing stuff, but I don't know, recently it's just not been there. I've just felt really, it's almost like when I'm at work, I'm a balloon that's inflating, and as soon as I switch off for the day, someone stabs a needle into my side and all the air goes out and I'm just done, sat there in some kind of waking coma on the sofa. And it's a bummer. It is a bummer, because then when you get to bed at night, you just think, what have I done with my time? And also, why aren't I enjoying life? Because you work so hard to create a life that you can love, but then you've got to actually love that life. You've got to actually do something that lights you up and that makes you feel good. And I just haven't been doing that, and it's not because I can't do that, it's just because I haven't felt like it. I've just been a bit meh. So what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to commit to making a list of all of the things that have ever brought me joy, and then I'm just going to work through them. So I'm just going to, brain dump everything on a piece of paper that's ever made me feel excited or happy or enthusiastic about life. And then I'm just going to work through them and try them all again and see where I end up. Another thing that I've done that I think is going to help me going forward, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen this because I shared a snippet of it, but I bought a wall calendar to go in my office. Now, I do love it. It's got a cool quote across the top saying, sometimes people will try to mess with your good vibes, you must throw them in the sea and carry on. That just really appealed to me. It was designed by Veronica Daly. I'll pop a link to her shop in the show notes because she's got some great stationery loot on her website. But what I've done is I've gone through for the whole of 2019 and blocked out some important things. So the first thing I did was to block out some actual holidays, so like week-long breaks away from work. And then for each month, I've also booked out a self-care day and a personal development or training day, so that I can make sure that my month's broken up and I've got space for those things that do fuel me. And then also in each quarter, I've got my 90-day planning day, because, you know, I love my planning, and what's better than planning to plan? Sorry, that was my dog yawning. I don't know if you heard that. So yeah, I've been filling my wall calendar and just really thinking about the things that I want to make a priority next year. So one thing I feel like I've been missing this year is up-leveling my skills. Like, I haven't done a lot of training or e-courses or anything like that this year, which is great for my bottom line. I haven't been investing in that kind of stuff, but I actually find that learning new things really excites me and fuels me, and it always has. I've always been a bit of a teacher's pet. I've always loved the learning, and this year I have lost that a little bit, so carving out a day every month that is purely devoted to that, I think will be fun. I'm looking forward to it already, actually. So I really want to encourage you, if you're like me and if you have a tendency to do the things that need to be done instead of the things that want to be done, then get something like a planner or a wall calendar or something paper-based that you can write on in pen, and block out these important things. Block out these things that you want to make a priority, whether that is a holiday, or whether that is connecting with other people, whether it's going to business events, whatever it is. Just write it on that calendar in pen, because we all know if it's in pen, then it's going to happen. It's a non-negotiable, because you can't go crossing things out on your calendar. That's just crazy. Anyway, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about for today. I know, short and sweet. I just wanted to share a little bit of insight into how I'm trying to make life and business a bit better, as well as, you know, giving me a little bit of time to moan about having to deal with humans. You know what I mean. I do love him. It's just really, really challenging to have someone around all the time. Anyway, I'm going to go now, but have a great rest of the day. Have a great rest of the week. And I will be back with you next week, which is a very special episode, because next week marks a whole year since the start of Your Biz, Your Rules. That is 1 year of this podcast in your ears, which I can't quite believe. So I will see you then. Thank you so much for listening. I genuinely hope that you enjoyed listening to this episode as much as I enjoyed creating it, because seriously, I love this stuff. Now, if you'd like to take it a little bit further, if you'd like to learn more from me, just have a bit of a chat, or share your thoughts on this show, then please do come find me on Instagram. My handle is @DaraCharlotte. I'll see you there.